Hey, this is Luke with another Android Guys podcast. I'm here with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Oh, what's going on with you?
Not a whole lot.
How are you feeling? Let me flip the script on you.
Oh, okay. We're going to do this now. I feel terrific.
Okay.
Terrific.
All right. I'll accept that.
Cool. How about so since the door's open, why don't you take it away? Talk about a game.
I don't know if you guys know this or not from his terrible segue and lead in. This game has the word doors in it.
Yep.
This is a game called Doors Paradox that I will be talking about today. I will say, spoiler alert, it's awesome.
Oh, cool. It looks cool.
And I wondered if it had moving parts because the graphics look great.
Right.
The screenshots, I wondered, is this a game that you just kind of like look at this, or is there more to it?
Sure.
And there's more to it.
Ooh, cool.
It's a free game to install.
Mm.
And if you have the Play Pass,
Yep.
then you also get a bunch of extra levels included.
Nice. Yeah.
And from what I understand, unlimited hints to kind of help you. So the way this game works is you, and I should also say this is from the developer called Snapbreak, and they do have a bunch of other games.
Mm-hmm.
This has about 100,000 installs.
Yeah.
When you go into the game, you're able to kind of pick areas that you want to play. You can choose from different worlds, like, for instance, Tropical Escape, Fantasy Machines, Cyberpunk, Haunted House. And then, like, under Tropical Escape, there are going to be 4 levels under that.
Oh, cool.
Each of these levels basically gives you a floating island kind of like area that, here, I'm going to hand it to you so you can kind of play it while I talk about it, because it's cool. You remember the game Myst?
Yes.
Do you remember how that game basically you just didn't know what you had to do until you figured it out?
Yes.
It didn't walk you through and say, hey, your object on this game is to do this.
Yeah.
Essentially, this scratches those itches. For me, it's something that I've really kind of missed about games, is like something that's beautiful and fun and inviting and makes me curious and look around. This little island kind of area that you're working at, they're gorgeous, they're themed, and there's really high detail to them. And you're tasked with finding the door, unlocking some door on that island. And you have to kind of go through and figure out, how do I get to this door? And it's usually behind like 5 or 6 steps. You will rotate it around and look at it. And then when you tap on certain areas, you'll automatically zoom in on it. And you can kind of collect little things. Like you might collect a pickaxe. You might collect a knob or some fuses or battery. Like, you'll collect these little items, and then you'll have to figure out how to incorporate them.
Sure.
You might use a knife to cut this rope. And I think the level you're playing has a boulder on it.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure out, like, oh, I can actually roll the boulder down the hill.
Right.
And then it does something that kind of like unlocks another part of the game. So it's kind of like figuring out a puzzle box.
Yeah.
And working your way to this door to go after, I think it's Zula, I think is the name of the cat. Each of these levels has a red and a blue gem.
Okay.
And as you find those on each level, those are basically buying you more levels at the end of the game under the epilogue. So you can, as you collect them all along the way, then you're giving yourself more levels to play at the very end. Each of them is themed. Each of them is very unique. It's absolutely gorgeous game.
It's very cool. I love being able to move around the island and see like all of the different. It's only this little tiny scene, but you can see everything.
Mm-hmm. It's completely free. There are no ads.
I beat level 1.
Congrats. So, I give this a 4.3.
Yeah.
And that puts it into editor's choice kind of category.
Love it.
Great on features. I've given it a 5 on graphics. Give it a 5 on ads and notifications. There are none.
Yes.
And as a Play Pass subscriber, you get some extra levels.
Cool.
And you get unlimited hints.
Nice.
So if you kind of get stuck on, you're like, I feel like I've looked at everything. I don't know what to do. A lot of times you'll have things that you're like, oh, I have to combine these 2 pieces and then spin them around until they join together. Or here, this has some electric currents, and I've got to push these boxes to make the current jump up and down and figure out, oh, that light turned green. I bet you that means that's the right spot. So let me turn the other one's green until when I do, this lights up and something opens up as a result.
Right.
There's one level early on where you collect like an avocado and you collect a fish and you do these things, and then you find that there's an actual like a machine that you feed them into.
Yeah.
And then it creates sushi will come out. And then you put this box of sushi that gets picked up by a drone that gets ready to fly away.
Yeah.
Something happens, and then you basically you're in charge of, I don't say, the drone's broken, so then you have to do something else.
Gotcha.
But it's all in service of finding this door. And when you open it up, Zula's in there, and you just kind of follow Zula through, and then you're on to the next level.
So as I'm looking at this in the Play Store, there's a couple Doors games.
Yeah, so when you look at Snapbreak, there's a handful of them. There's
Yeah.
Origins, there's Awakening, and I'm thinking I might just go check out all of these.
Yeah.
Because I have not heard of this developer, but when you look at their portfolio,
Yeah.
there's one that they promote called Project Terrarium right now. These things are high scores, man. A lot of games in the 4.7 in the door stuff.
Yeah.
There's a few that, I mean, you can't judge books by covers,
Sure.
but the graphics and the screenshots look pretty compelling.
Can't judge a door by its knob.
I think that's going to do it for me today. Yeah, honestly, this is, if you're looking for something, you've got a Play Pass subscription, definitely check this one out because you get the goodies with it. And it's the kind of game where you don't get hit with, hey, come back and play.
Right.
It doesn't take more than a couple of minutes to figure out an area, and if you're like, oh, I completed it, but I didn't get the gems, go back, look for it. You're like, oh yeah, I got the red one, but I couldn't find the blue one.
Right.
There are some, you have to kind of dig around a little bit. Sometimes they're not very obvious. And I love that about the game.
Yeah, for sure.
And to me, it's every one of these doors is like a section of the game, like Myst and Rivendell, where it's like, okay, what the heck am I actually going to do here?
Right.
And then you start twisting and turning and finding things, and all of this, the game mechanics are really cool, but all of it is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very polished. So I definitely recommend you guys check out Doors Paradox.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.